Hello trainers, I'm Upgraded Rotom, aka the coach of the San Diego Pachirisus, and we're here in week 4 of the LET Pokemon Draft League. This week we face off against our opponent, the Bundle Montreals, and their coach, Mr. TJP, and they've got a pretty scary lineup. With some terrestrialization monsters like Urshifu, Single Form, and Florges and Avalugg, they've got some nice defensive and offensive options for their Terras, and even without being Terra, the majority of their team is still a huge threat to anything on ours. The Bundle Montreals have a crazy lineup in which we've got to face this week, however, I believe I've picked the 6 best Pokemon to bring to this fight. First up on the lineup, we've got our Gouging Fire making its return. Gouging Fire's EV spread this week is going to be 244 HP, 8 attack with 44 defense, and 4 special defense with 208 speed, the Impish nature, and its moves being Heat Crash, Morning Sun, Dragon Dance, and Earthquake, while its item is the Rocky Helmet. With this set in mind, we are going to be able to take hits from the majority of their Pokemon. Urshifu is their main one that we're going to be taking hits from. That Rocky Helmet is also going to make it so that they have to take Chip. Gouging Fire here is playing an interesting role this week, as it's here to take hits but also dish out some nice damage to my opponent. Early on in the match, I want it to be able to spread some Rocky Helmet damage to stuff like the Urshifu or the Cinderace if possible. Maybe even potentially Avalugg if that decides to do a Rapid Spin or some sort of body press into me. And then later in the match, the idea is going to be try to Dragon Dance up and get some heavy damage going to kind of clean up the game. With the majority of my opponent's Pokemon not being super heavy, Heat Crash is an amazing move to bring into this team, as it's going to be doing more damage the bigger the difference between our weights are. Morning Sun is there in order to keep ourselves healthy, as we can easily switch in onto a Cinderace or a Urshifu and then go ahead and Morning Sun up while they potentially U-turn out or just swap out into Dondozo to try and get better momentum for themselves. Like I mentioned before, Dragon Dance is going to be able to help us set up our speed, set up our attack to do some late game sweeping when the time comes. And Earthquake is here in order to hit my opponent's team super effectively, as the majority of their team doesn't really want to take Earthquakes. With Rillaboom's Grassy Surge, it could be an issue, but at that point it would be like we just go for Heat Crash anyway, so I'm really hoping that Gouging Fire is able to shine in this battle, and we'll see how well it can put a dent into their team. After Gouging Fire, we have our Muck here, and Muck is running the EV spread of max HP, 4 attack, max special defense, with the Careful nature, the moves Knock Off, Poison Jab, Drain Punch, and Shadow Sneak, with the Poison Touch as its ability, and the Assault Vest as its item. With this that I brought, it's mostly here to just kind of wall a lot of their special attackers. Florges doesn't want to take this, Slowking doesn't want to take this. If they bring a Choice Specs bundle, then that might be a little bit rougher to deal with, but even still, if it's not Choice Specs, that Assault Vest really adds to our bulk, and even Goodra, if it's not a body press set, can't really handle this thing. Knockoff is always there in order to get rid of items against our opponent's Pokemon. Poison Jab is there in case they do bring Florges. I'm not expecting it, but just in case they do bring it, we have something to hit that super effectively with. We've got Drain Punch on there, as a good portion of their answers are going to be weak to fighting type moves, so if we can hit that with a fighting type move and then get some HP back, it'll be good for longevity. And Shadow Sneak is there just in order to get ourselves some priority against stuff that might be taking us down in the next turn. And Poison Touch is always the cherry on top, as with any of our moves we had an extra chance to spread some poison to anything. Then after Muck, we've got our Rotom here, and Rotom is rocking the EV spread of max HP, 4 special attack, and max speed, with the Timid nature, the moves Volt Switch, Trick, Will-O-Wisp, and Discharge, and the Choice Scarf as its item, with the Terra being Electric. With this set here, we'll be able to outspeed anything on my opponent's team, and if we get our item knocked off or we just trick it, then we should be able to outspeed anything that is Rillaboom or below. My opponent has no ground type, so I'm taking full advantage of that, and Volt Switch is there in order to give myself momentum, and Discharge is here in order to spread paralysis to up my opponent's Pokemon. Now Kilowattrel is a little bit of a hindrance in that effect, however I do believe if I can trick a Choice Scarf onto that, then if I can remove its possible Choice Specs, and then it already outspeeds everything on my team, so I feel like giving it a Choice Scarf would not really be a big issue. Otherwise, if we want to trick something, we have the setup Pokemon that they have, such as Slowking, Dondozo, or even Goodra, maybe even Avalugg. We also have Will-O-Wisp there in order to better hinder their physical attackers, like Rillaboom. If Cinderace turns into a different type and then we Will-O-Wisp that, we can burn that as well. Their Urshifu does not like to be burnt, and their Dondozo and their Goodra both won't appreciate their burns if they are body press sets. Like I mentioned earlier, Discharge is there in order to spread paralyses and hopefully hinder some of their speed, but most importantly, it hits super effectively against their Dondozo and their Iron Bundle. Next after Rotom, we've got our Zarude here, and Zarude is rocking the EV spread of 128 HP, 184 attack, and 196 speed with the Jolly Nature, the moves Drain Punch, Knock Off, U-Turn, and Power Whip, with the Choice Band as its item and the Terra type being Fairy. This set allows us to outspeed everything on my team that is slower than Urshifu, and then with that Choice Band we're going to be able to hit hard on anything else that is what we're going to be facing. Our main goal with Zarude here is really to just kind of get in, outspeed, and then possibly Choice Band chip a U-turn into any of my opponent's Pokemon. That way we can get some good chip and some good momentum onto anything that we are currently facing in the battle in front of us. Otherwise, Drain Punch is there, like I mentioned before, to kind of give ourselves with some longevity. Their Urshifu isn't going to like to take that, neither is their Iron Bundle or even their Goodra. Knockoff obviously gets rid of items, it's still Knockoff, you have explained that before with, what was his face? Muck. But coming off of Zarude, it's going to be obviously doing a lot more power, not only because of our heightened attack stat, but also because of our Choice Band. And Power Whip is there really just to handle a Dondozo, maybe even a Iron Bundle if we can catch it on the switch, but it's just there to hit Dondozo with some pretty powerful Grass-type damage, and if a Rillaboom sets up the grassy terrain, we're going to be hitting harder anyways, so maybe that might be a more enticing thing to go for. I chose Terra Fairy as it allows us to better resist the Urshifu's stab moves, and if Cinderace is going to be like a Banded or Scarf variant, it allows us to resist the U-turns as well, as we want to make sure we get rid of our 4x weak Bug-type resistance weakness. Honestly, I'm really only expecting the Urshifu to terrestrialize this game, and with its Terra types, I'm either expecting it to be like Dark, Ground, Fairy, Poison, or Steel. And luckily, with Zarude's moveset, the majority of our moves are going to be able to hit that super effectively no matter what type it becomes, and even on that chance that it becomes something that we don't have something to hit super effectively with, we have other Pokemon to deal with that. After Zarude here, we've got our Mew, and Mew this week is rocking the EV spread of 64 HP, 212 defense, 232 speed, and the Timid Nature with the moves Iron Defense, Body Press, Psychic, and Draining Kiss with the Colbur Berry as its item. This set here is also designed to just outspeed the Urshifu or anything slower than that. Unironically, Mew is our backup Urshifu answer, as I do believe Urshifu is going to be like the main threat that we're going to have to face other than Dondozo. With our Colbur Berry, we should guarantee survive any Wicked Blow that the Urshifu wants to go with us, whether it be a Choice Band variant or just a non-Choice Band variant, we can survive it. Then we can hit hard with a Body Press or a Draining Kiss. If they do go into like a Terra Poison route, we do have Psychic on there to also hit super effectively. Otherwise, like I mentioned, if they go Terra Steel, we have Body Press for that as well. We do have covers for all of the types that I'm expecting them to bring. Iron Defense there is really just to boost our defenses against their opponents that don't want to be in against us, like their Avalugg. Like I mentioned before, Mew is really just here to be a backup Urshifu answer, but I guarantee you if Urshifu goes down early, then Mew will be able to pull its weight and do some damage to anything else on my opponent's team. Last but not least, we've got our Golden Go here, and Golden Go is rocking the EV spread of 192 HP, max special attack with 64 speed and the Modest Nature with the moves Dazzling Gleam, Make It Rain, Trick, and Shadow Ball with the Choice Specs as its item. This set here is going to be able to outspeed anything that's Florges or slower, and then with our Choice Specs we're going to be doing some crazy damage to anything on my opponent's team. Due to my opponent really only having Urshifu as a solid Ghost-type resistance, Shadow Ball is there because I can just basically spam it. And speaking of Urshifu, if I am kind of predicting it onto a switch, then I can easily go for a Dazzling Gleam. Make It Rain covers a lot of my opponent's team just for some nice coverage damage. And Trick is there like Rotom to be able to give it to something that does not want it, such as the Dondozo or the Avalugg. With Golden Go as well, it does have a decent amount of bulk put into it, specifically to be able to survive an Earthquake from Dondozo and kind of hit that thing super hard if Rotom goes down. Golden Go will also be able to live a Hurricane pretty nicely from the Kilowattrel, and otherwise it does wall the Ice-type moves from the Iron Bundle. And that's going to be the team for this week. Let me know what you guys think about it, and I hope you guys enjoy this battle against the Bundle Montreals. And we found them! Okay, let us see what they have brought. Okay, so I was expecting everything besides the Florges. Interesting. Okay. I think... No, Cinderace is very interesting, actually. That is very interesting. Let us go ahead and go for Gouging Fire, and then we will switch into Muck if worst case scenario. And we are telling them the Terra Captains right now. And then, okay, looks like Terra Ground, Florges, Fairy Avalugg, and Fighting Urshifu. Okay, that Terra Ground might be annoying, but Meliodas is going to be able to outspeed and KO that thing every day of the week. So I think we are good to go ahead and go for it. I do want to check what a Muck is taking from Florges' possible choice specs Earth, or not Earth Power, Terra Blast. It would be taking 40 to 50-ish% if it is specs. So this is Iron Bundle. Okay. Crazy lead, but we also have a crazy lead. What are we doing to Iron Bundle against Couching Fire? I didn't see a booster. I did not see a booster, so this could be, what's his face? This could be Specs or Scarf. I believe Muck would be a fine answer still. Iron Bundle into Muck. Yeah, Muck would take it pretty nicely if it is choice specs. We can still take it pretty nicely. Okay. Yep. Yeah, we go Muck. They could flip turn. This could be Binding Band into, what's the move called? Whirlpool? But we'll see. They Hydro Pump. And I believe that is Specs damage, as we are at 258, 285. Actually, it's not Specs. Is it? No, it is Specs. It is definitely Specs. Okay, so I think we're fine to go for a knockoff here. And then hopefully we can spread some poison. Yeah, hopefully we can spread that poison. Rocky Helmet, okay. No more Rocky Helmet. Poison? No poison. Okay. And we are going to go ahead and switch into Rotom and then go for a Volt Switch. Yeah, that Florges Sprang is kind of... I was not expecting that at all. Okay, we do just ignore that Earthquake, which is lovely. And I doubt that they want to take a trick on anything, so I'm going to go ahead and just, again, Volt Switch out of there. And who's Brainiac? Yeah, okay. Kind of expected. So, at this point, I still kind of want to go back into Muck. We can go ahead and get another knockoff off. If they want to... What's the word? If they want to go back into Dondozo, then we can go ahead and get that poison possibility. But knockoff is still very nice. I do want to save this Muck as much as possible, though, as we are starting to lose some HP. That could be very pivotable, what? I guess pivotable. Very pivotal to the possible sets that they're bringing. So are they just going to chilly? They chilling here? Thunder Wave. Okay, how much is Shadow Sneak doing to this? Let's say their defensive pivot. We're doing 18 to 21%. I think a Shadow Sneak wouldn't be bad here. If we can get this thing on priority, if they... Cool, let's see if we kill. We do kill, nice. Ooh, crit mattered, possibly if they have a lot of physical defense investment. Which it didn't look like, because knockoff did some nice damage. Now, Florges might come out here and just Terra Ground. Or even Urshifu. Urshifu could definitely come out. Good news is we're not getting 6-0'd. Let's see what they bring here. Let us see. I mean, Iron Bundle might come out, but I don't know if they really want to deal with a knockoff onto Bundle. The good news is, too, we don't have to worry about Toxic Spikes anymore, so no hazard on their side. Eternal Grass. Yeah, so this is just Florges. This is where they're going to Terrestrialize. I think with Slowking gone, Rotom is amazing here. So I'm not opposed to just going ahead and knocking off again. We can take this, right? Terrestrializes and Terra Blast. It's doing about 53%. So this might KO us based on a damage roll, but we can take that chance. I'm fine to knock off. And then Zarude comes out and we can go ahead and Power Whip. So Terra Ground. Yeah, Power Whip is destroying this thing. Ooh, Calm Minding. Interesting. Are you stored powered set? Poison, please? Covert Cloak. Interesting. Okay, so they can't get poisoned now. I'm gonna go ahead and Drain Punch, possibly, just to try and do something more. Oh, this Terra Blast does kill now. No, I just totally forgot about that for a second. Oh, actually, we survived that. I'm very surprised. Ah, but the paralysis. Dang it. Okay. We're going to go ahead and Shadow Sneak. And poison, 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 please. Yes! Nice. Okay, so what is U-Turn doing to this? U-Turn is actually a KO. So I'm going to go into Zarude and just U-Turn here. This shouldn't outspeed, right? I'm not genuinely crazy. Yeah, Zarude is definitely outspeeding this. Okay. Yeah, into Zarude! And here we go ahead and just U-turn. So they're trying to keep this. Fair enough. And this is the Avalugg. Ooh, shiny! Shiny looks cool. I like the shiny. And Golden Go is pretty fine right now. I don't believe anything wants to take a Make It Rain or a Shadow Ball at that. Actually, Urshifu kind of wants to take a Make It Rain. I don't believe anything really wants to take a Dazzling Gleam. Let me do some math real quick for Iron Bundle. Yeah, Iron Bundle doesn't want to switch into a Dazzling Gleam. So Dazzling Gleam has an 18% chance to OHKO it. And they can't Terrestrialize anymore. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and Dazzle. If they go into Florges, I believe this should kill still. I didn't check that, but I think it should. Dozo. Okay, how much are we doing to Dozo? A decent amount. Okay. Still think we just are fine to go into Rotom here, as Rotom is really only here. Ooh, but that ground typing. We should be able to live anything this guy wants to do. With our... Sorry, I'm typing down Dozo real quick. Dazzling Gleam should KO from here. So we should be able to outspeed as well. Okay, Florges is taking a hit, and I believe going down. Yeah, okay. And then this really opens up the game for Zarude, as obviously Terrestrialization is gone. And so Drain Punch or Power Whip is going to go crazy. Let's see what they go into. Okay, so this might be Choice Specs. Iron Bundle with Choice Specs. and let's say modest as well. It has a 6% chance to KO me. I'm fine to go ahead and sack you here in order to get something else going. Okay, we lived that decently nicely. And we get the clean KO. Okay, Golden Go putting in some nice work here. Golden Go, the GOAT! Okay, so yeah, out comes you. And is Rude really going to take much? I don't want to deal with a U-turn, actually. So I'm fine to go ahead and Dazzling Gleam here. And then I do want to double check Mew's Draining Kiss into Urshifu. It wouldn't do enough to KO, but we should outspeed if they're not Scarf. They could be Scarf, and we'll find out here. Yeah, that's actually good information to find out, so let's go into Mew. We're going into Mew, and we're going to go ahead and Draining Kiss. Oh, there was a little bit of lag there. What else do they got on their team left? They got Dozo. Yeah, so realistically, if I can keep Rotom alive, I'm pretty sure I win this game. So we're going to go ahead and Draining Kiss. So they're not Scarf, which is good to know. We should be able to survive this Wicked Blow. Indeed we do. And we'll see if they decide to go ahead and switch. They do. And Avalugg I don't think is taking too much. Dondozo is... This is Avalugg. Okay, so against Avalugg. Ooh, actually that took a lot. That actually took a solid amount of damage. Actually, no damage. Oh, that's because it's surprisingly bulky on the special side compared to this Mew. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and Iron Defense up. If they want to go for that same thing, Iron Defensing, that's A-okay. Earthquake. How much is that going to do? Nothing. We're going to Iron Defense again. And I think this is a body swap, or body swap? Body press sweep. There we go. That's the wording. Unless this is... It's not going to be Sucker. I don't know if they have Sucker. Sucker. Words, please, do not stop me from speaking. Okay. Dondozo. Okay, our Body Press isn't doing anything, but Psychic has a solid chance to do some damage, and if they have Crunch, let's say... Crunch is not doing enough to do so, and the Crunch is not doing enough damage to really hurt us. All too much. We'll see if they have a rest set. Avalanche. Okay. So we still KO this dude. Unless they go into Urshifu, but they don't. Dozo goes down. And we should outspeed Urshifu. If it has Sucker Punch, it has Sucker Punch at the end of the day. Otherwise, we body Avalugg. Okay, versus Avalugg. How much damage are we doing right now? About 50%. If we go to max, how much damage are we doing? 65 to 70 something. I'm gonna go one more time into the Iron Defense, and then we're gonna Body Press. The only way I think they really do land Gother's death is through a crit, which they don't get, And we're going to go ahead and body press here. We get the KO. And last but not least is their Urshifu. So if the Urshifu has, what is it called? Sucker Punch, then we lose. But if not, then we get a nice Mew. Actually, you know what? That's sick. Golden Go and Mew really did put in a lot of work this game. I'm actually really happy to see them kill crazy. Because those two guys, I was like mostly planning to have be supports. But if you have Sucker Punch, you got Sucker Punch. And you don't. Alright, well, that's going to be week 4, guys. I hope you had a wonderful time watching this battle. And thank you to Mr. Sorry, I'm probably going to butcher it, so I'm going to try and find it real quick. Mr. TJP. I hope you had a wonderful battle as well. And I will see you guys in the next battle. Peace.